It's building. All right, I'm gonna mute myself on YouTube now. And I'm gonna jump back to Zoom. Oh, hold a second. How am I gonna get rid of that? How come I can't? Give me a second, guys. I'm having trouble getting back to Zoom. I don't know why.
If you go down to Safari and hover over Safari on the bottom.
I know, but it won't go there.
Oh,
here we go. Okay, now I'm
There
back.
you
All
go.
right, sorry about that, everyone. We're having a little technical difficulties here. My name is Mike Keenan. I'm a executive director here with ID Life, and I have the privilege tonight to be able to host an interview with Jen Casey. Jen is our expert on ID Life DNA and being able to both understand the protocol to actually perform the test and how to explain the results. So welcome, Jen from Pennsylvania. How are you tonight?
I'm good, Mike. How are you?
Good, very good. How's the weather out there? A little cool?
It's actually pretty warm. It's like 52 and raining
wow.
today, but that's warm for February now, I guess.
February. Sure. And can you please introduce the guest that you're going to be speaking with tonight?
So this is my good friend, Christy Van Orden, and she's also an associate on my team as well. Started out as a customer, but we'll talk about that.
Sure. Jen,
Yeah.
can I introduced you as our DNA expert. Can you give us a little bit of your story, a little bit of your background on how we came to know you the way we are today?
So I'm a wife and I'm a mom of 4. And I haven't always been thin and fit. So at my heaviest, I was 220 pounds and uncomfortable in my own skin is how I would put it. But my then 3-year-old Bryce, he's now 14. So fast forward, but he one day came to me and he said, "Mommy, why does your butt shake when you walk? And why are you so fat?" And I was already really self-conscious, not feeling great about myself. And I broke down in tears and Jim yelled at him, but that like triggered me to make a change. And sometimes you have to hit rock bottom before you could come back up. I'm sure you see that a lot, Mike. Yes. So that day I decided I was going to start eating healthier and start exercising. And my husband in the process was introduced to ID Life, and I slowly added in some products, starting with the shake, and the shake being one of my favorite things. I can't go a day without. And fast forward, I've lost the weight. I've been able to keep it off, and I decided I wanted to become a personal trainer so I could help other busy moms reach their health and wellness goals. Then I decided I wanted to become a DNA guru or whatever you want to call it. It's a genetics-based fitness coach. And I've been helping quite a few people to unlock their DNA and reach their potential. So
Jen, we all know we all know that you've been very successful in helping a lot of people, and not to be braggadocious, but I think people need to know the extent at which you've helped people. Is it fair to say you've helped more than like 40 or 50 people to sit down and go through their DNA?
It's probably in the last year over 100. Wow. But I haven't like kept track. Some weeks are more than others. I sit down either virtually like we are now, like on Zoom, or we'll sit down in person if they're local, and we'll go over their results and come up with a plan.
So obviously, having done in excess of 100 DNA assessments with customers and associates and so forth,
Mhm.
you've seen a lot of the power of what DNA that information can help people with. And I'm very fortunate in my practice at Core Cage Fitness to be able to do similar things.
Yeah.
But if you had to pick some key issues that people have that aha moment when they first see it, are there any particular parameters or any specific tests that people are a little bit surprised about when they find that out about themselves?
Like different, like parts of the test.
I'll give you an example. Okay.
Okay.
Most people that I deal with are coming up with having a high risk of inflammation.
Yeah,
And
that's what I
they-
was gonna go to. Yeah.
Okay, well, and I'll just finish by saying this, and I'd love you to expand on it. And when they hear that, they're thinking joints. But you and I both know that inflammation of the joints is not the most life-threatening type of inflammation that we encounter. Can you expand a little bit on that?
So yeah, I see a lot of people come back high inflammation, and with an injury or something, you expect some pain, some inflammation, but too much inflammation can be a bad thing. It can lead to heart disease, it can lead to obesity, it can lead to some cancer. So you really want to know if you're more at risk, so you can limit your refined carbs, so you can reduce your fried foods, increase those omega-3s to combat that inflammation. And then and we've talked about this, you and I, if they're also highly sensitive to carbs, it's kind of like a double-edged sword.
Mhm.
So
Right.
they
How
really have to
about-
watch.
Here, I'm going to tee one up for you, and you're going to tell me what your experience is because you've done so many of these. I'm sure that you've encountered this as well. How about the person who comes to you before they take the test and say, well, I'm genetically predisposed to be obese, to overeat, and then have a risk of weight regain, and then you do their DNA test and they come back normal in those 3 parameters. So what's the follow-up conversation with that individual?
Well, I was like that. So I was obese at one point, and mine actually came back normal susceptibility to obesity, normal for rebound weight gain, normal for overeating. And I had to take that excuse away. Like, no, I'm not predisposed to this. And I really need to get my butt in gear, So, and my husband was the complete opposite. Jim came back high susceptibility to obesity. And if you know my husband, he's always been thin and fit, but he's always been active, which I wasn't. I wasn't in sports as a kid. And I think that does me a huge disservice, like not being in sports, not doing like group activities. And
So you've made a huge
Yeah.
paradigm shift in your own life.
yeah,
And in all fairness, when I first met you, I think the first time I met you was probably in Baltimore, about the time you had your shoulder surgery.
yeah.
And to hear your story now, because when I met you, you were lean and fit. And I mean, I'm a little bit older than you too. So I'm saying, look at this nice young woman here. And it's good to see someone who's living that lifestyle of what we're all trying to promote, not knowing what your history was.
I
What
really wish I would have had the DNA earlier as
Mhm.
well. I didn't have that when I was going through my weight loss journey, but now I have it to keep myself on track. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I'd love to hear some of the experiences you and Christy have had together in her journey. Can you expand a little bit on that?
So Christy and I have been friends for the past couple of years. Our mutual friend Kate kind of introduced us, even though our kids go to school together. Our boys are like best friends. So she came to the gym and she started working out with me, and I introduced her to ID Life. First the collagen, which is your favorite, right? Collagen. Yeah. And then we she did her DNA, and she could tell you a little bit about her DNA, what her DNA came back.
Well, the reason why I got involved with ID Life was, like I said, the collagen at first. But when I was younger, I was a gym rat. So I was always at the gym and I was thin and fit. And then I had 2 kids and put on some weight, and my metabolism changed. So never really knew how to take that weight back off. I was eating no carbs. I thought I was doing myself good. I'm like, I'm not eating any carbs and I'm still not losing the weight. I'm exercising. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to. So I talked to Jen and she said, well, maybe you should get your DNA done and find out what's going on. So I came to find out in my DNA that I was pretty tolerant to carbs. So I could actually handle carbs better than other people can. What I wasn't tolerant to was the saturated fats.
Mhm.
So I was eating a lot of saturated fats, being that I was trying to cut the carbs. So I was actually working against myself. So
Mhm.
once I started following my plan and switched everything up, then I started seeing the weight come off. And I started with the shakes, like Jen was saying, with the shakes. And
Yeah, you love your shakes.
I love my shakes. I can't live without my shakes. I did them as my meal replacements at first, which I still do. But in the beginning, I was replacing for breakfast and lunch with a shake, and just saw the weight just start coming right off.
Mhm.
And followed my plan and changed my exercise routine up even a little bit
Yeah.
according to my.
If you don't mind me asking, what did you come up with regards to muscle fiber? Were you like a power? Were you mixed? Were you more endurance?
I think I'm an endurance athlete. Yeah,
You're a
I'm
mix of power and endurance.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
You have-
perfect for
my
Jen's class.
Yes.
Because I
Yes.
know what she does, because during COVID, we were training online together a lot. So I got to witness a little bit of that. So,
Yep.
so
I never was really big into cardio. When I always used to do a lot of just weights, and
Mhm.
that was my problem. I was skipping the cardio and just going with the weights. So I started adding the cardio in with the weights, and then noticed a difference in how my body was toning the muscle, and I started using the
Yeah.
lean,
You've been able to keep it off,
Mhm.
and yeah,
the lean product. I feel helped me too.
build muscle tone. Yep.
Yep. Well, I'm a lot older than both of you, so I can tell you that sarcopenia. Is
Maybe not.
well, you're being kind. Uh, but sarcopenia is a real thing, and
Yeah.
and the loss of lean mass does affect people as when they start to get over 50. I'll be 60 in January, listen, in June, and I can sense that for me to keep up the amount of lean mass I have takes a lot of work with regards to my exercise and my nutrition. And I will tell you from my perspective, the working out is not the hard part. It's getting the diet correct. And
100%.
yeah, because I could keep the same workout and gain or lose weight based on my diet. So I know there's some things that trigger, because I'm also prone to sensitive to carbohydrate and also at a higher risk of inflammation. And
Me too.
yeah, so I'll tell you the truth, I had a glass of wine or two over the weekend, and I could definitely feel a difference, not just in the weight on the scales, but the way my joints feel. So I'm just not tolerant of that. And I tell it to my clients all the time. I'm like, you have to decide what it is that you want to accomplish, and you have all your information now, so there's no more excuses. Jen, tell me a little bit about where you see your clients being able to utilize this, and what you've been able to do with them in the gym. We talked a little bit about nutrition, but and I mentioned your workout program. Give me a little idea of your workout strategy that you use with your clients.
So depending on what they come back, I mean, a lot of them are either endurance or a sprinter. Not as many come back a mix of both, where it's like the best of both worlds. They can mix it up every day. So a lot of my classes are HIIT classes. That's what I like. That's what I teach. But some people need more endurance. So they need to go outside. They need to either go for a walk or go for a run, or maybe add in some swimming if it's feasible. Right now it's kind of cold and yucky outside. If you have a local college or a local school, you could go swimming, but that's not always an option. And then with strength training, like I like to add in a burst of cardio with my strength training as well. So when we're at the gym, I'll do like a HIIT class, but then add in some weights to help burn more fat, which not everybody needs that, but a lot of people do need that extra burst of cardio with their strength training. I'm seeing that a lot on the DNA.
Right. The reason
You
I
see that a
bring
lot?
this, right. The reason I bring this up is because we have a product called Post Recovery Drink. And I've had some very good results with it, with people having delayed onset muscle soreness, which does come up on the DNA test.
Yep.
And I found that they have been able to feel better and have less inflammation with that. Have you had any positive experiences with our post?
I like our post, not just for after a workout, which it's great for after a workout for soreness, to relieve that soreness. Gives you the good proteins that you need to heal your muscles. But I also like it just to, like, if you're mowing the grass, if you are doing any type of shoveling, like Jim, if he's outside shoveling, comes in and takes his post workout, just to help heal those muscles. Anybody could benefit from it.
Absolutely. Well, again, I should say that we don't diagnose, cure, prevent, or treat anything, but I will tell you that people who were experiencing inflammation with this last pandemic, they certainly benefited from using the post. That didn't make them feel better. So I'll throw that little tidbit in there.
Yes, Jim did use his post when he was sick back in November as well. Made sure he used his post workout at night.
Yes. So, all right, I want to kind of wrap things up a little bit. If you have anything else to add, please, just jump in. But what I was going to say is, we have something special for people who are looking at the DNA right now. Could you explain a little bit about what we mean by that?
So right now we had a surprise sale this week. The DNA is $25 off, and it still comes with that $100 off coupon on your customized vitamins as well, which is great. Sometimes it doesn't come with both. So you have that $25 off the DNA and $100 off your customized vitamins, which is huge.
Right. And one of the things that's on the DNA test with regards to the vitamins and the supplements is I've had many people come up with a variant of the MTHFR gene mutation where they didn't even know that their body was really in need of not just vitamin B9, the folate, but also it seems that it almost goes hand in hand with a inability to properly utilize, metabolize vitamin B6.
Yeah.
So we handle that in our. Have you had that experience in being able to explain that to people based on our DNA test?
Yeah, I've had quite a few people come back low folate or B9. A lot of people low B6 as well. Which if you're tired or fatigued throughout the day, it's usually low B vitamins. So.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I just find that to be profound because there's people who start on a good recommended vitamin mineral regime, and all of a sudden their energy goes up, their mental clarity goes up.
Yeah.
And it's because the truth is they were having difficulty absorbing the nutrients from the food that they ate because they were vitamin deficient.
Yep.
See that a lot. Listen, I want to thank you for your time tonight. If you, I'm going to let you just close out. If there's anything else you wanted to add, please feel free to do so. If not, I'll just wish everybody a happy night. And I would definitely recommend that you get back to the person who invited you out tonight. This DNA program is real, it works, and based on Jen doing it with over 100 people, it's something that people want, need, desire, and quite frankly can afford, because we spend money on things that don't bring us this level of help, for lack of better terms, and it's a great investment in ourselves.
Yeah, and the one thing is you only have to have it done once. Your DNA never changes, so it's your blueprint for the rest of your life. So,
Right. And in cooperation with that, we also have an online assessment which goes into our diet and the lifestyle. Very important that we also talk about, or talk to the person who invited you, because in that assessment, you're going to put in your medical conditions and any over-the-counter prescription medications you're on. So the DNA is a component to that assessment. It allows us to determine exactly what you should be taking and avoid what you should not be taking. So with that, I wish everybody a very happy night. Take care. And we'll see you all real soon. Jen, nice talking to you.
Thanks.
Christy, nice talking to you tonight.
have a good night.
Hey, good night now.
Right.